It's Wednesday, and that means fresh comics are hitting the shelves. This week, Spider-Man squares off with Godzilla. Yes, you heard that right. We're getting the origin of the Legion of Doom. And with Free Comic Book Day just around the corner, there's a whole lot of heat in the air. Which new releases should you grab before they're gone? Let's check it out this week with Fresh Picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
This week in new comic books for April 30th and another day. We'll talk about that in a little bit later. We have here a comic book featuring Superman. This is all in the Free Comic Book Day, because this weekend is Free Comic Book Day. A lot of good books coming out for that day. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But first, let's talk about last week. Last week with Previously Fresh, we had the number one voted book, as according to League of Comic Geeks, was Absolute Martian Manhunter number 2 with 37%. At a close second was Wonder Woman issue number 7 at 16%. Historic Crisis Events number 2 was at 6%. Predator versus Spider-Man number 1 was at 5%, while Superman 25 was at 4%. Shane, talk to me. What did you get a chance to read?
So the only one I didn't read out of this pile was the Assorted Crisis Events, and it's only because it didn't come in. I'm actually getting that book. It's real. The first issue was excellent, I thought. Martian Manhunter, it was really good. I keep expecting it to kind of not live up to the hype, but when you just read it kind of as a comic book, like, I really enjoyed it. Absolute Wonder Woman just continues to be amazing. It's so good, such well written. I really like the new art team. They switched it up starting with issue 6, I think. And Predator and Spider-Man, I mean, we talked about it a little bit before. People, go read that book. Like, it's good. The art, I found, like, the first couple of pages, I wasn't really sold on it, but then when they got to the main Spider-Man splash, I was like, okay, I'm in. Yep, this is good. And Superman 25 was really cool. I liked it. We all knew that, something was going to happen with Lex, so it's finally happened, which was cool to see.
Yeah, so I did pick up all the books like I normally do, but I don't get a chance to read them. I usually read them at like subsets and things like that. I did get to read Predator, Spider-Man. And when I tell you, man, that is one crazy story. I'm amazed that they were able to do this story with Spider-Man. I'll be honest. Because this is not a kid's comic. This is not for kids.
Yeah, after reading the Wolverine red bands and seeing what the differences are between what they put in a red band and what they don't, I'm surprised that some of this stuff was in it, really. It was good, though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. And it was just something that, as I was reading, I was like, oh, holy crap, what's happening? And then the last page, which is a cool little spoiler that happened, is like, oh yeah, duh. Let's go into our books and start off with the rundown. Fresh off the shelves, we got 140 new releases this week. There are 279 variants, which gives us a total of 419 books coming out this week. Now, notice there's a little asterisk. That asterisk means we are including the Free Comic Book Day titles that are happening this Saturday. As far as number ones goes, we have 70 number ones, 104 variants, which gives us a total of 174 number ones. Again, because of New Comic Book Day, there are more number ones. So that's including what's in New Comic Book Day. As far as potential keys, believe it or not, we got 24 keys that we're looking into. That's also part of Free Comic Book Day, but we also have 6 appearances that are potential. So all this is, we got an uptick. Believe it or not, it's actually a slow week because of New Comic Book, but because of Free Comic Book Day, it kind of changes it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad some of them are going to be free, because otherwise my bill would be a lot bigger.
All right. let's break it down by publishers, starting with Marvel. Marvel's going to have 17 titles. Now, these are not including Free Comic Book Day. From those 17 titles, we have 45 variants. With DC, they kept it really light this week with 5 titles and 17 variants. As far as the other publishers go, Image Comics has 21 titles with 41 variants. Boom Studios has 5 titles with 40 variants. IDW has 3 titles with 10 variants. Dynamite, they did it again. They're back on track. 5 titles with 75 variants. That's awesome.
Hey, fire up the printing press.
Get that thing going. Do you got any new artists out there that need some work? Dark Horse Comics has 6 titles with 5 variants. As far as the indie comics goes, I couldn't really break that down the way I wanted to. So it's going to be 57 titles with 40 variants, but that's also including the Free Comic Book Day titles. Let's talk about the books that are coming out on Wednesday. So we're looking at Wednesday's list first, then we'll talk about the Free Comic Book Day books. Right? And the first book that I think it's going to be the biggest book to pick up is Ultimate Spider-Man number 16. This features the story that includes Mysterio. So it's the secret origin of Mysterio. Even Kingpin knows little about the criminal in the smoky helmet, but Spider-Man's about to learn more than he bargained for. We got the cover A, which is the Marco Cicchetto cover. But the cover I think most people should be really looking for is the Michael Walsh, because that features, spoiler, Parker is wearing the Spider-Man costume. This is that first cover appearance. Be on the lookout for that one. That one's, if you see it, I suggest you pick it up because that's gonna be a buy for it. Also, you got the Geraldo Sandoval's cover, which is part of the connecting covers. I love that. I love that Mysterio. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really good.
Mm-hmm. Looks great. All right. What's your thoughts on Ultimate Spider-Man? I know it's one of the hottest. It's still pretty hot. Sells really well. So
it's my favorite book that comes out of both any company every month. Like it's the one I look forward to reading the most. I love the story. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Our next book here is the Power Company Recharge number 1. This is coming out for DC Comics. You have the Edwin Gallman cover, Sanford Green cover. I think that's the one that people are going to probably go grab. There's a 1 in 25 Paris Olyanin. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. That's just something I do, apparently. With Vixen. I'm not feeling that Vixen, to be completely honest. But this is a new super team that spins out of the events of Black Lightning and DC Power. It will feature Black Lightning. Jace Fox Batman will be part of it, The Signal. And of course, as I mentioned, Vixen is also going to be part of this story. Any thoughts on the Power Company?
I didn't know much about it. I know that that it is from the Black Lightning comics, like you said, but I wasn't really picking up that title. And not because I didn't like it. It's just I had to trim down, but I think I got the first one. So I'll give it a flip through and see what it looks like.
Yeah, the artwork looks great. Obviously, Sanford Green's an amazing artist. So that cover right there is great. Kind of has that Heroes for Hire vibe to it that I see in a weird way. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. All right. Let's take a look at our next key book to look after, and that is Wolverine and Kitty Pryde. This features a potential first appearance of Snow Samurai. I didn't say it, but it also has Chris Claremont writing Kitty and Wolverine again. You have a great cover A with Alan Davis cover, Alan Davis, man, he's a GOAT, man. I love Alan Davis.
Yeah.
But there is also a 1 in 100 Adi Granov cover. There is an open order version where it has the trade dress, but if you like the version, it's a 1 in 100, and there's a Marcus 2 1 in 25 version that's featuring Kitty and the cover with Lockheed. Any thoughts on that one?
You know what? I wasn't gonna pick it up, but now because I didn't know that Claremont was writing it, so now I'll actually have to look at it and see what I think.
Yeah, because you're a big X-Men guy, so
yeah.
And I can see that. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Claremont's been still writing books. This is one of the stories there. I like his take on Wolverine and Kitty. He works well with them. Kitty has gone through so many changes here, but I don't know which version of Kitty we're getting. Are we getting Shadow Cat? Are we getting Sprite? Are we getting, what was her other name? I'm trying to remember. She had another name. There was another name she had.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a look at our next book here, and that is Godzilla versus Spider-Man #1. This features the first appearance of God Venom, but there are some awesome covers for this book. Cover A is done by Nick Bradshaw, who will also be doing the interior work of the book. Nick Bradshaw is doing the covers for it. I love that cover, even though I know every time I see Nick Bradshaw, I say, why are you copying Arthur Adams? Just give me Arthur Adams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so much Arthur Adams. It's too much Arthur Adams. But that, I digress, as they say. Also, there's a 1 in 100 Chris Campana cover right there, which is really cool. There is an open order one with a trade dress, but the one I look forward to always are the battle ones by Lee Garbett. I love them. I think they're great. I want to have them all because that's just what I want to do. I want to have them all. It's just cool posters. What's your thoughts on Godzilla versus Spider-Man?
Well, I might get this one just for the God Venom.
Just for the God Venom, just in case, right?
I haven't been picking up the other ones.
There's also a Venomized Godzilla cover that's out there too. So be on the lookout for that one.
Who would have thought that Godzilla would have got people so riled up?
No, it's more the Nick Bradshaw versus Arthur Adams thing. So enough of that. I love you guys. Moving on to our next book, and that is Batman Superman's World's Finest Annual #1. This, you got cover A done by Dan Mora. Well, it's annual #1, but it's 2025 annual #1. It's not the first annual. Dan Mora did the cover A. There's also a 1 in 25 Laura Braga, but the one I think that's worth picking up is the Salvador La Roca cover, because that is a great cover of the Legion of Doom, which this book is going to feature their origin story.
Yeah, this one, I haven't been like, I did pick up the Justice League Unlimited, which is part of this crossover, and it was good. But when my store asked me if I wanted the other with the next part of this, I was like, I'm good. I'm okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to pick up the La Roca cover. That's the one I think I'm going to grab, because I really like it. And I love Dan Mora.
Yeah.
But I like that La Roca cover just a little bit more. You know what I mean? Moving on to our next book, and that is the Indie Key of the Week. This is Lost Fantasy #1. There is a cover A, which is done by Luca Caslaguda, I want to say. And there is another book it's open order, and that's the Alex DeVito cover. Be on the lookout for that one. People have been looking at that one because of the Final Fantasy homage to it. So it has some buzz with that cover. The concept is like this, and this is the synopsis. There's a world of magic, myth, and monsters that exists beneath the surface of our own. Since its first contact was made over 100 years ago, the great hunters have kept us safe from the creatures that lurk in the shadows. But last night, something broke through, and it's up to rookie monster hunter Hendry Blackheart to stop it. Written by Kurt Pyers, and the artist is done by Luca Castellaguda. So, yeah. So that's the Indie Key of the Week. I'm hearing buzz about this book. I'm hearing good things about this book, but yeah, these are the two that you want to check out if you're interested in the homage to Final Fantasy, which a lot of gamers do like picking up homage books of comic books in comic book format. So that book might get some kind of buzz or uptick. It's a possibility.
Yeah, again, that one, if they had that cover, I'd probably grab it just because it's a #1. And before you started reading, that cover like a video game thing, because I'm not a Final Fantasy person at all. And then now that clearly explains it. Like you can tell.
Yeah, exactly. It's Final Fantasy VII, which is what many people consider to be the best Final Fantasy story, and I love Final Fantasy, so be on the lookout for that one. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the eye-catching variants. let's start out with Fantastic Four 31, the Sean Gallows Saturday morning variants. I personally love those covers. I think that cover is cute. It's different. It's special. That's a cool one. Also, the Godzilla Spider-Man #1, the Patrick Gleason cover, which is 100 times better than anything Nick Bradshaw ever done. I'm gonna die. Like I said, I'm gonna die on that hill. But that is a gorgeous cover. And of course, John Jang with Red Hulk #3. I'm curious to see if this one's gonna gain some buzz, just like the other one did. Probably not, because the other one was more of a special variant. Well, this one's just an open order. But we see these 3 books. What do you think?
I haven't been buying the Godzilla one, but because it's got, God Venom and that Gleason cover, that might be the winning combo.
It is gorgeous to me. That is beautiful. Just seeing the Statue of Liberty, see Godzilla, Spider-Man is right in front of him, right?
Now, when you were talking about the Venomized Godzilla one, is that the previous Venomized?
No, there's going to be a Venomized Godzilla variant as well.
Okay.
Moving on to our next 3. Hellhunters #5. This is the cover B. Hellhunters #5. This is the cover B from Mark Aspinall, which is, I love this cover. It kind of looks like an homage to something, but I'm not sure if it is, but it definitely looks like an homage to something to me. And then you have Rogue the Savage Land. You have the 1 in 50 Ivan Talavera, and you also have the J. Scott Campbell cover. If I had to pick one of the 2, I'm definitely going to pick the Ivan Talavera. It's just a better, more beautifully rendered image. What's your thoughts on these 3?
I love that Ivan cover as well. I don't remember which issues of this I've gotten, but I'm not a fan of the story of Savage Land, but I love the covers.
Yeah, with the Rogue books, they've all been cover buys, really. That's all they really are. They're just ways to get, Rogue in that costume.
Do you know who does the Venomized Godzilla cover, Izzy?
Who's that? Don't tell me it's Nick Bradshaw.
It's Nick Bradshaw.
Good for him. Again, I don't hate the guy. I'm just saying he just copies off of Arthur Adams. Let's take a look at our next books, and that is the Batman The Long Halloween, the last Halloween issue #7. There's a Dave Johnson cover, and there's a Cully Hamner cover. There's also Detective Comics 2025 annual #1 by John McCrea. What do you think?
Detective Comics has been amazing read. So I'm looking forward to seeing if the annual kind of carries over what the series has been doing. And I don't know if I have all of the Long Halloween ones, but I do like that cover as well. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Which one? Both of them?
Sorry, the first one.
The Dave Johnson cover? Yeah, the Dave Johnson cover is great. I love how he incorporated Poison Ivy's hair as like leaves.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So I really like that. The one in the center is also good. I really like that book, but I haven't been reading Last Halloween. I picked up a few copies here, but it is paying homage to Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb from that series. Let's take a look at our next covers. All right. The Question, All Along the Watchtower #6 by Denny Cowan, and the A.L. Kaplan cover featuring Batwoman. That one's interesting to me. And then, of course, Batman Superman World's Finest 25, the Clayton Hendry cover as well.
Yeah, you can tell DC is thin this week for sure.
Yeah, it's very thin this week.
Yeah. Personally, these covers, I don't think any of the 3 do too much for me. The Question one's okay, but I haven't been reading that at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fine. And I like Clayton Hendry's artwork. For some reason, I'm not feeling this one as much. But the Denny Cowan is probably the best one out of the 3 I see here.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with our next set, and that is some indie books that have some really good covers. And you know what? We like to crap on Dynamite with the 101 covers, which is true. But that Felipe Masafera Thundercats Tigra, wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah, these 3 sets of covers are much better. Like that, even the middle one, that we're taking everything down with us. I don't know what it is. It just looks cool.
Yeah, it is, and it's Jorge Fornes, which we'll see again in this minute. But then you also have the Nimit Malavia cover for Power Rangers Prime #6. But yeah, the Felipe Mazafera cover, man, that's just top level right there. That's just at another level for that cover. But I like all three of them. I think they're great covers. Good use of color as well for those covers. Let's take a look at I believe this is the last set of variants before we move on. Terminator #6 is the 1 in 20 the Clan Shalavi, and the G.I. Joe Real American Hero Duke #1, the 1 in 25 Jorge Fornes, and of course Mark Spears paying homage to the Killing Joke with Mark Spears Monsters #4. Let's talk.
The Terminator has been a great read. I like that cover. It's really interesting. It kind of does a few different stories, and my only complaint with it is it's really short. I think it's,
Yeah, it's fast reads.
Pardon me?
They're fast reads. I know that much.
Yeah, like I think, and it's either 16 or 20 or 22 pages. Like it's not a long comic.
Mm-hmm.
I like the G.I. Joe things, genius, right? It's 1 in 25. So if you want them all as a store, even, you've got to buy a lot of comics to get them all. And then the Spirits, we're going to be talking about it again because these covers coming out for this one are really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you have it. Those are your eye-catching variants for this week. We're now going to move forward to Free Comic Book Day. And we're going to look at the books that are coming out for Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. There are 3 categories. There's the green, there's the blue, there is the reddish orange. Now, most of the books are going to be in the blue label, which is considered teen plus, but it's really an all ages book. If you see green, it's really a kid's book. That's the idea behind it. It's really a kid's book. When you see orange red, that's when you know this is an adult book. This is a mature book. It's not targeted for children. There are a good set of comic books that are coming out for Free Comic Book Day. Here's what I'm going to tell everybody that's watching. Go support your LCS. The purpose behind Free Comic Book Day isn't so much about the free comic books. It's about going into the shop and buying comics, buying merchandise, buying everything you could possibly buy at the shop to help the LCSs. That's the original intent behind Free Comic Book Day. And a lot of LCSs, they do event sales. So they'll be doing discount sales. They'll be doing BOGOs. They're going to be doing a lot of things. Some shops even bring artists in to do sketches. They're events. And my suggestion for everyone, if you're going to go for Free Comic Book Day, obviously pick up your free comic books, but don't walk out with just free comic books. Walk out with something from the shop because they need you. They need to pay their rent. What do you say, Shane, to that?
100% agree, Izzy. I know that if you're a regular comic book buyer and you've got a pull list, most likely your store will probably give you some of those books on Wednesday or Tuesday whenever you pick up your book because you are a regular customer and you are buying stuff. But if you've got people or you want to take your kids in or whatever, which is great, get some new readers maybe, pick up some other book too that they might like. I always do that, like get a free book and get another book that they might like. And you're right, it helps them. They got to pay rent too, and they are small. In the end, there isn't many comic shops that are big businesses. Most of them are just small businesses.
Yeah, and here's another thing to keep in mind. Every book that they give you for free, they pay for. So they still purchase the books. That's what some people don't even know. They're not free to them. They're free for us. They'll get like a bundle pack and it's like a bundle discount for it. So that's why they'll have multiple copies. But for them, they're paying the books just like they would for the regular books. So go enjoy it. Have fun. It's Free Comic Book Day, Saturday. So let's start off with Marvel. Marvel has multiple copies. There's going to be, what they're going to be doing for most of them is they're going to be doing the flip, where one side is going to be one story and then you flip it to the other side. DC is be doing the same thing as well, starting with Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Universe. This one I have to say is an important book because it features It features Ultimate Incursion, which is going to be a storyline that's going to be in a separate part of Ultimate Spider-Man, but it features the Maker. Remember we talked about the Maker being the ultimate version of villain for Miles? Apparently he's going to be a villain for the Ultimate Universe in general.
Yeah, and that was expected. I kind of figured that was happening. That was the main kind of drive towards it. He's going to be kind of the puppet master of all of it. So it'll be interesting to see how they tie it together. I'm looking forward to seeing that book for sure. And I'm really looking forward to reading that Incursion book, to have like all 3 or 4 potentially of the Spider-Men together.
Yeah, that should be fun. I'm excited for that. Another book that people should check out is the Fantastic Four Giant Size X-Men #1. This one's probably not going to be as big as the other one, but it is still it's a free book, so why not, right? The next one here, Marvel Voices, that's going to feature a first appearance. So you're going to want to get that one because it's going to be featuring the brand new Ghost Rider. And that's a book that I could see being a $10 book one day if this Ghost Rider catches on. So Marvel Voices is probably going to be, out of these 3, this is probably going to be the top book, because I think that's the one that's going to have the least amount of orders to it, where the other 2, there'll be plenty of copies because Fantastic Four movies coming out. So of course we want to gain that momentum. And Spider-Man books, of course, Spider-Man always walks out the shop, so they're not worried about those. There's going to be plenty of copies of those. It's Marvel Voices that I think it's going to be the one that might sell out faster than all of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. There's also a few other books from Marvel. You have the Star Wars title that's out from Marvel with Phil Noto cover, which is great. Then you have your kids' books, which is the Iron Man and the Awesome Friends with Spider-Man and his amazing friends. And this is another book called Hulk Teach, which is also targeted to reading and writing and things like that. And those are just free comic books that are going to be part of Marvel. So Marvel has 6 titles. Over at DC, you have All In. Now, All In is the big one. That's their key book, which leads to whatever storyline they're going to do. There is a blank edition of the book, and there's also a foil edition of the book. So there's the typical free comic book there, but if you spend some more money, you could actually get the blank, or you could get the foil of that cover. Then you have your kids' books. Superman's a Good Guy Gang, which is cute. Features the characters that are going to be in the Superman movie. And you have Kangaroo, which is an animal version of Wonder Woman's cast. Any thoughts on All In, since that's going to be the big one?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I like these. I like it when they do little teases in Free Comic Book Day. I mean, that's the whole. To me, that's kind of the fun.
It gets you hype, right, for what's to come, and that's the intention, right? That should be the intention behind it. Over at Image, you have the Energon Universe special. That's another book. Last year's Energon Universe was very important, so a lot of people did grab that one. This one's going to be just the same. There's also going to be a kids comic for Transformers, and that's Transformers Worst Bot Ever. It's the first appearance of Ballpoint, who is considered to be the worst bot ever. I can't wait to see that one. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
that might also be an instant sellout.
Yeah, I think so. It's just going to be funny.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still the first appearance of a Transformer, so that's another thing to take back. Also, an adult comic book. I Hate Fairyland. Once Upon a Time. That's Scotty Young being Scotty Young. That's a book that people are going to be checking out. Moving on to the indie books, starting with some Dynamite books. You got Thundercats Powerpuff Girls. Yay! I got nothing on that one, but I do like Powerpuff Girls. I do like the Thundercats. Why not?
Yeah, I'm most looking forward to the Demona book. That's the one.
The Demona book for Gargoyles. I think that's going to be a big book. Also, you got VR Troopers Meet the Power Rangers. That's another free comic book day. Then you have Mark Spears Monsters Stereo. This one, could walk out really fast.
Yeah,
You
there's
know
going
what
to
I
be
mean?
one to keep my eye on for sure.
Yeah, that's one that could walk out really fast. So it's a Mark Spears cover. It's free. People are going to want to know what's this Mark Spears thing. So issue 0 of Mark Spears Monsters is going to be part of Free Comic Book Day. Then you have an adult comic book with IDW Dark featuring some stories that they're going to launch. That's an adults only comic. There's Godzilla, the New Heroes. I love that cover. I think that cover is sick, man.
Looks really good.
Right? Anything better, it's better than anything Nick Bradshaw has ever done. So I said it. I'm going to die on this hill. Okay. Then you got another book by Dark Horse Comics called Mighty Nin Origins. I don't know much about that, but there is going to be another Black Hammer story within that book. A book from Mad Cave they're going to be releasing The Phantom as well as Speed Racer. I think those two books are going to be great. I personally love The Phantom. I think The Phantom's a great character. One of the earliest superheroes that are out there. He was a pulp hero, really popular character. You know, Billy Zane tried to pull it off. It didn't really work, unfortunately. But the Phantom is returning, and that's going to be issue 0 for the Phantom, as well as Speed Racer. I remember as a kid, man, tuning into MTV. Go Speed Racer, go. And that's coming out from Mad Cave Studios. Then you have EC Comics presents Blood Type 0. That is a book that is also coming out. That is I don't get these horror books that are getting all ages to it. There's Teen Plus, as they call it. That's coming out this week. Conan, the Scourge of the Serpent, and Diablo. Those are for mature readers. That's coming out over for Titan Comics is the publisher. Mm-hmm. Right. Then you have, here's the one. This is my sleeper. And as a spec guy, this is a spec pick. My spec pick for Free Comic Book Day is going to be, and you guys, I'm going to be clear with this one. Post Malone's Big Rig. It's an adult comic book. It's for mature readers. I honestly believe that's going to be a spec book.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know much about it except for I know who Post Malone is. I don't really know any of his songs, but
well, you know who Ghost Star, right?
Yeah.
He's a little more popular than them.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So that's why I see this book walking out immediately. So got to check that one. Def Leppard's Hysteria, another book that I think some people will look out for us from Vault Comics. Then you have Valiant Zombies Resurrection. That one's also coming out. Then you have Black Mirror Twisted Comics. That's a book that's coming out. The one in the center is actually a really good one, which is Will Eisner, a comic biography. So every year they've been doing these biography books. There was one on Stan Lee. There was one on Jack Kirby. This year they're doing one on Will Eisner. What I like about it is that it looks like it's not going to be a kid's book. Because it's in the red emblem. It sounds to me that they're going to take this as a very serious story about the story of Will Eisner. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Then over at Red 5, you have another book called Snow Monkey, as well as some other books that they're going to be doing there. Mm-hmm. Then finally, we're going to go with some of our kids' books. Every year they do Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. This is no different. Keen Spots does Toy Box. Minecraft, the manga. Shane, that's a big one.
Yeah, with the movie being out, I'm sure that a lot of kids are going to be going for that. So just, if they have that one and you're getting all of them, might as well get that one too.
Yeah. I think that one is one of those books where hopefully the shops ordered a lot. Because if they did, then it's going to be fine. But if they didn't, that could be a spec book. Yeah. Then we have Mega Man, Street Fighter, and Rival Schools, and Archie's Comic Spectacular. That's fun. And then to wrap it up, we have Dr. Zoo graphic novels, Bad Kitty, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has a biography story. And those are your free comic books for this weekend. Guys, that was your fresh picks for the week. Make sure you like this video, comment, please leave a comment. Share this if you can, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Be on the lookout for those books. That's fresh picks for this week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more comic content. Check out these other videos for even more insight, and I'll see you at the next one. Excelsior.